Ooh, Twister 2. Twister. Okay, guys, Glen Powell joins Twister 2. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including stuff like Gran Turismo. We got an image from that movie that's coming out. Lilo and Stitch casting. Twister 2 casting, and we'll take a look at what's opening up this weekend at the theaters, and I'll give you guys my Renfield review that I saw last night in the theaters. So, yeah, there's lots of juicy topics to look at. Let's start off today's show by talking about that Glen Powell Twister 2 news. Glen Powell joins Daisy Edgar Jones in Twister's movie. Yeah, it's going to be directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who directed Minari. So, this is on the THR, so it's by the big trades. It's pretty much confirmed that Glen Powell, if you don't know who he is, you saw him last year in Top Gun Maverick, and Daisy Edgar Jones was in Where the Crawdads Sing, which was actually a fairly good movie. Actually, both Top Gun Maverick and Where the Crawdads Sing were pretty good movies. Good actors overall. So we know that loosely she's going to be playing like the daughter of the Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton character, I think. Maybe, I don't know, or something like that. Glen Powell's probably just going to be another kind of like storm chaser. But yeah, it's ripe. It's time for another Twister movie in my books. Because the visual effects could definitely do it justice. Yeah, I'm just thinking about all the tragedies that's happened over the last couple of weeks in the States with it, though. Maybe it's a little too close to the chest, or it's too close to the mark, right? For some people, you just lived through it. Now, do you want to go and watch a movie about it? I don't know. Anyway, I like the first Twister movie. I had fun with it. So Frank Marshall is producing. Kennedy and Marshall Company. That's Kathleen Kennedy will produce the original Twister star. Yeah, we don't need to know about Twister, the original one. We all know about that here. The new story is not a sequel. It's not a sequel. Okay, nor is it expected to bring back old characters. Really, the studio is describing it as a new chapter in the story. Edgar Jones will star in the project as a former storm chaser who survived a disastrous tornado encounter, now works a desk job. However, she will soon be forced to, you guessed it, go back into the breach once more. So maybe it won't have any connections to the first movie. It doesn't need to. In fact, then why are you saying Twister 2 then? Why not just call it... You're trying to market it from the first movie. Logic dictates that then you try to connect it somehow story-wise or character-wise to that first movie. Otherwise, then what's the point, right? It's kind of like, let's make a Star Wars movie where we're going to talk about, it's just going to be about the people who clean gutters on Coruscant. You're not going to see any spaceships. You're not going to hear anything about politics. It's just going to be about some guy cleaning out sewers. Then, did you really need to call that a Star Wars movie? Does it have to be set there? You see what I'm talking about here? I think they're trying to protect some story element there by saying that it's not going to be connected. But for me, that angle just doesn't work. But the cast looks good. Glen Powell joining Daisy Edgar Jones. The IMDb page doesn't show up that much more right now. I mean, it's still in early works. If it starts shooting this year, expect it for next year. But I don't see a release date here slated for it. So I'm not expecting too much from it. But what do you guys think about Twisters? Twister 2. Is that something you want to see? Is that The Terror Continues? No, that's not what I want to take a look at. Yeah, Twister 2. Like some of the older Storm Chasers can come back there, right? Will touchdown 2024. Okay, so it is eyed for 2024 as of December for last year's forecast. Yeah, forecast, James. Meteorology jokes here on Mirror Domains. Okay, well, whatever. Let's get into the next story. Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. It's got David Harbour in it. We got a new image from it. It says first image here, but we've seen images from it already. So David Harbour's character and some high octane racing, high pack. So yeah, There it is. It looks like, yeah, David Harbour's going to be like the pit crew boss or something like that. And it's about, like, I think this is the evil driver, isn't it? Um, what happens is that there's a player of the Gran Turismo game who becomes so good at it, he vouches for, like, he doesn't vouch, he becomes a full-time real racer. And that's sort of what happens in the movie, right? Um, David Harbour, I think this is the bad guy. Yeah. There's our first, well, they say first image, but I don't really think about it like that. It's, as I said, we've seen stuff from that before. I'm going to pull up the IMDb here and we'll take a look at that cast. I'm not going to read the synopsis. An ultimate wish fulfillment of a teenage Gran Turismo. Yeah. Won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual race car driver. Based on a true story from Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9 and stuff like that. Elysium. Jaimin Hansu is going to be in this. Orlando Bloom. Darren Barnett, Maddie Davis, and Joshua Stradowska. It's Nicholas Kappa. Okay, so is that Joshua? Sorry, Joshua, not Joshua. Joshua? Is that who the heck? Who's this guy? I don't even know who the heck that guy is. He's one of these younger guys. Maybe that's Darren Barnett. Jerry Horner, one of the Spice Girls, is going to be in this. Is that him? I'm just trying to look at the profile here. Okay, so that profile. James, just go look in the article. It must say there. For the past decade, David Harbour and Midsummer's Archie Madekwe. That's Archie Madekwe? Okay, so then, not that guy. Archie Madekwe. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the last name, guys. Okay, so, oh no, yeah, there he is right there. Oh yeah, he must be playing one of the bad guys, right? Because he would be higher up if he was top build. Whatever. James, you profess to be a movie news expert. Wait, did I profess that? I don't know. Anyway, first image, or yeah, David Harbour. I like because we got the teaser for it. Yeah. What do you mean first image? August 11th, eh? This year. I don't know if it's going to make that deadline. It should. Maybe if they're just releasing these images, we're going to get a full actual trailer for this. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I thought we got a teaser for this. Maybe it was just part of a package of like coming up soon from Sony. Yeah. Yeah, so we've seen images from this. What the heck are they smoking? It's just like one of the cars lifting off and then you see, yeah. Yeah, we've seen that teaser before. Archie. Okay, yeah, there it is. Archie Madekwe. Madakwe? I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, we've seen that teaser. That came out 3 months ago. Gran Turismo sneak peek. And I think I probably even did like a reaction to it. I've been really looking forward to it. August 11th, though, guys. Artglass in live chat says, I think the visual effects have come away, so Twisters 2 should be a blast. I thought they did a good job talking about the mundane Star Wars in the Clerks. Yeah. Yeah, with what I was talking about, like the mundane aspects of the universe and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. Lilo and Stitch. Did you know that they were making a live action Lilo and Stitch? Well, they are. And I guess we got some casting. If you're into this, if this is your bag, Sydney Elizabeth Agudong is going to be playing Nani in Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch. Now, I think this one is going to go straight to a streaming. I don't think this was going to get a theatrical release. At least that's what I'm under the understanding. Still going to be, THR says Sydney Elizabeth Agudong has ordered the project and will be the main role. Nani is the older sister, where Lilo is the younger guardian who lost her parents. Okay, so that's the older sister. It's also been reported that Zach Galifianakis has been cast as the live-action incarnation of Pleakley. Is that the name of the monster in it, Pleakley? Okay. Uh, Dean Fleischer Camp is directing, who did Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Okay, well, that'll be a good selling point for some people. Live action. Agu Dong is starring as the older sister, and her previous work. Yeah, I had to look her up. This is what she looks like here, guys. So she's playing the older sister. Yeah, you don't get too much of a good look at her. So who's playing the younger one then? Oh, is that the younger one right there? Okay. I never watched it. I guess maybe someday we can add it to the Grumpy Man Reacts polls. Probably towards when the actual live action one's going to come out. Or if I just will watch it with you guys if it's coming out on streaming. Lilo Stitch has been in development or release on Disney Plus, though it is being touted as a major release for the streamer. That doesn't matter if it's a small release or a major release. It's still being released on Disney Plus. It's the latest little title in a long live action of hyper realistic. I wouldn't call it that. Lilo and Stitch franchise. Okay. Anyway, does not yet have a premiere date. So yeah, it's going to be straight to Disney Plus, and we know that we're going to get a live action Moana here with Dwayne the Rock Johnson. We got Snow White coming out, and Little Mermaid comes out. Snow White and Little Mermaid are going to be theatrical. I don't know about Moana yet. Peter Pan and Wendy's going to be straight on Disney Plus, and I know that a lot of people are going to be hating that one. And they've been blocking people's trailer reactions for it. So it's kind of like, I don't know if we can do a full live watch along to that one. And you guys know I'm fair. I'm fair. I'm not coming on with like a pocket full of bigotry in my pocket here that some people say that they don't have, but they do. Yeah. I don't know. I'll keep my mind open for this. But there you go. Just some curiosities there. All right, let's talk about what's opening up this weekend in the theaters. Now, guys, it's Friday, April 14th. So are you going to go out to see a movie this weekend? Let's just take a look to see what's opening up. Well, of course, yeah, the Super Mario Bros. Is still playing, and it's probably still going to make like $70 million at the box office this weekend. 60 to 70. And yeah, it's got positive word of mouth. Everybody's talking about it. But Renfield is opening up this weekend. And I went out and saw it last night. So in just a little bit, I'll do my full review. But my initial reaction to it was that it was good, man. Nicolas Cage as Dracula. It's a pleasure to see him do his thing. Yeah, and I'll talk about that in my review for sure. What else is opening up? The Pope's Exorcist. The Pope's Exorcist. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing it today at 4:30 actually. So, yeah, I want to make sure that I see The Pope's Exorcist so I can talk about it on tomorrow's Horror Weekly Roundup show in the morning. And as you can see, not a lot of seats are taken yet for The Pope's Exorcist. I'm sure the 7:20 show was probably a little bit more busier. Let's take a look. Only 4 people. Well, you know, it's spring. It's warm. People are going to spend time outside. Horror movies usually don't. Well, sometimes they get big. But out of Renfield and The Pope's Exorcist, I hear good things about Pope's Exorcist, actually, to tell you the truth. I am kind of hyped to see it. The Pope's Exorcist, 48%. Ooh, by critics, 86% by the audience. So I don't really care about what the critics say. Most critics, as I said, they don't really care about horror movies, so they always look down on their noses at it. So, because most of them are just journalism students that this is what they're doing. Bloody disgusting, though. Didn't like it. Huh. At least Crow's instinct for hamming it up absolves the film from the generic exorcism feature he's found in himself. Let's take a look at a good one here. From Empire. It's not just the demonic possession victims whose eyes will be rolling back in their skulls None of those should work, really, yet the film is just about gets away with it, proving the Lord truly does move in mysterious ways. Huh. Wow. Yeah. It falls in the trope of a bunch of other exorcism movies where, yeah, if you're possessed, then you can levitate off the ground and you can roll your eyes back and you talk in weird, distorted voices, which is why I kind of preferred other movies that took a different spin on it, where it's kind of like, um, yeah, the exorcism of Emily Rose, where they make you think is she just having like epilepsy? Is that what it is? Epilepsy? Um, yeah, uh, I like that angle of it, but I'm seeing the Pope's Exorcist uh, today, so pay attention for my straight out of the theater reaction for that. Air is still playing. Air is a good movie. And then Mafia Mama is the only other one that's opening up this week. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that one until a cheap Tuesday. Yeah, I may not see that one until Tuesday, but I will go out and see it. And Suzume is opening up. 2 hours and 20 minutes action anime. Well, it's only in one showing. What the heck? Um, that sucks. Huh. Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick Chapter 4. Um, okay, so no, we got some more listings there for Suzume. I wonder why they showed it. Why are they separating it there? What's the difference? Here it says Japanese with English subtitles. I got nothing wrong with that. Here, maybe this is just the dubbed version. This is the English cast version, right? What would you see that in? Would you see it in the original Japanese language, or would you see it in English? I think I would probably see it in English. I don't even know who the English voice cast. And then, of course, that other movie, Simulant, is still playing. Only at 9 p.m., though. Yeah, so you got a couple things that you can choose from. Mafia Mama. Ooh, 22%. That sucks. And Toni Collette the trailer looked fun. It looked funny. And I like Toni Collette. She's a great actress. Sixth Sense. What else was she in? The Hereditary. Well, God, she just put on a masterclass in Hereditary. And she's also been in rom-coms and stuff like that, comedies and stuff like that. She's a great actress. She's like a normal housewife that has to inherits like a mafia boss's like empire when he gets killed or something like that, right? But I thought it looked funny. Is that Disa from Rings of Power? Is that same actress? She in this? Well, I'm actually kind of looking forward to this then. Toni Collette. Well, yeah, and she was in Knives Out, right? First Knives Out too. Yeah, that was good too. Yeah, I think that is the actress who plays in Rings of Power. Who's that? Huh? Is that like her daughter or something? Uh, Maria. Oh, what the heck is her name? Not Maria. Uh, Monica Bellucci. Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought that looked charming. Bummer. So it's not resonating with the critics. Had no ratings from the audience just yet. But let's see if I refresh this. No audience ratings for this. This didn't have advanced screenings last night. Only Pope's Exorcist and Renfield had advanced screenings. So yeah, that's what else is opening up this weekend. And if we had access to Landmark website, then I would use Landmark as well. But for some reason, Landmark website is not working. I try to load it up and it's just kind of like, it just hangs. Let's see if I can refresh this. No, it's just hanging there. It's not doing anything. I don't know what it is with broken websites, but yeah, that's what's opening up this weekend. Renfield, it's a blast. It's a blast. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about Renfield. Oh, A. Weaver says, is Twister 2 ad campaign going to be Let's Twist again? Maybe. But I just expect it to be like a lot of fun, high octane kind of storm chasers get into the deep water of like, oh God, yeah, we want to chase and photograph these things. There had to be different motivations this time around, right? In the first movie for Twister, they they were wanting to study the tornado and put those little sensors in it so they can map it out. Now that they've done that, what else can there be done, right? What else can they do to try to help forecast it, maybe, or deal with the aftermath of something like a big tragedy, like it sort of said there in the synopsis? Okay, let's get set up here for my Renfield review, and that poster is not cropped properly. My bad. Let me just fix that. A little bit better? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. All right. Ooh, let's make sure I got everything up here for Renfield. This will be spoiler free, guys. I'm not going to talk about spoilers. Renfield is something that you don't need to have spoiler discussions on. Yeah. Okay. Twister 2 Twistier, A Weaver says. Yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of puns that they can play and stuff on it. Okay. Do we want blue or do we want purple for Renfield? Yeah, let's go with purple. Okay. Sorry, I just got itch on my back. All right. Renfield stars Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Nicholas Hoult there as the title character, Renfield. Guys, I like this movie, and I think you'll like it too if you are a Nicolas Cage fan for sure. It has a lot of Nicolas Cage isms in it. Yeah, it's kind of like letting him out of the box and just play as the character Dracula. So what's the synopsis? Over on the IMDb, it reads, Renfield, Dracula's henchman and inmate of a lunatic asylum for decades long, for life away from Count and his various demands and all of the bloodshed that comes with him. So basically, yeah, he's fed up being the servant. He wants to try to make a life for himself, and that's pretty much what it is about. He's trying to stand up for himself, but Dracula still bullies him and stuff like that. He's kind of like, no, you're my servant. I'm giving you eternal life and stuff like that. And then, of course, Nicolas Cage is going to be talking in those weird voices and stuff like that. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a silly movie, I said in my initial reaction. When I came out of the theater, my straight out of the theater reaction for it, that's up on the channel right now, I was just like, I got a smile on my face. It's gory, it's bloody, it's silly gory, like people getting their arms ripped off and blood spurting all over the place. Expect that kind of thing. Don't expect something to have a high emotional impact that, ooh, it's really about somebody in an abusive relationship. No, they play that up for a little bit of fun, but it does sort of at times try to stretch towards having those storylines with Awkwafina and stuff, but it's kind of like, it doesn't really need it, and it doesn't take away from the film. As I said, it's not a serious tone film that will make you go, ooh, I wonder what they were saying about that. But let's just take a look at the rest of the cast. Awkwafina's in this as the cop who's trying to chase down some of the bad guys in this. Because basically, Nicholas Hoult gets in trouble with the mafia, and the mafia bosses Shorey Agdashiu. You'll recognize her when you see her. And her son, I think it's Brandon Scott Jones. No, it's Ben Schwartz is the son. Sorry, Lobo. Yeah, the Lobos are the crime boss family. And so Nicholas Hoult gets in trouble with them, and then Dracula tries to come out and make a deal with them. Very interesting stuff that they had going on in the background with well, what would happen today if Dracula came back? What would he try to do? Yeah, and if he got caught up with the crime boss, very interesting ideas going on in there that are just surface level stuff, because it's really more about Renfield trying to break away from Dracula. But there's some really good scenes in there. It's played very well, and as I said, the pleasure is watching Nicolas Cage do his thing. If you liked him in Face Off, going over the top as Castor Troy, or that kind of thing, That vibe. You'll love him in this movie. That's what I would recommend. So let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. 62% by the critics, 81% by the audience, and the audience is going to like this a lot better. It's a quick 90 minutes. There's no post-credit scenes or anything like that. There's nothing like that in this movie. So when the movie ends, you can pretty much get up and walk out. Let's take a look at some of the snapshot reviews. Let's take a look at a good one first. Who else? Who's out there? Movie Mom says, Nicolas Cage, can't help it, forgive me, sinks his teeth into a very gory but amusingly slanted take on a classic, filled with goofy and contemporary references. And it's got makeup effects in it. The makeup effects in it are surprisingly, like, I went to places where I was like, oh, I didn't realize that we were going to go like that gory with it. And yeah, they do. There he is wearing his cape and stuff. She's playing the crime bosses, the main crime boss. So some very intriguing ideas. Now, some people may complain that I've seen one other review from Harloff who said that he felt that maybe Awkwafina was a little bit miscast, but then he kind of reversed his course on that. So I kind of respect that, where it's kind of like his off the cuff complaint about Awkwafina kind of being miscast in that role just goes away once you realize, oh yeah, guys, this is not supposed to be like a serious epic movie. You're just sitting there with your popcorn going, oh, I didn't expect that. And the action in this too. I have to highlight the action here from Nicholas Hoult, who throws down a couple times in this. And there are rumors out there that, maybe he's being eyed for the new Batman in the James Gunn universe of the DCU movies. And if he was going to be the new Bruce Wayne, Batman, there's a fight in the opening sequence in this where you're just like, oh, wow, yes, Nicholas Hoult can throw down. Very interesting casting. And he does a great job in this, too. He does something else with his voice and his pronunciations and stuff like that. So Nicholas Hoult, great talent, Awkwafina, and then, of course, as I said, Nicolas Cage there. And his teeth and everything like that. Very menacing stuff. Let's take a look at some of the bad reviews and see what people are saying. See if we agree with them. Cage hilariously plays it up as Dracula, and Hoult is great. Unfortunately, the script gets in its own way often more than not. And certain inconsistencies are hard to look past. Inconsistencies. Let me just see. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention to see these inconsistencies that were being mentioned. Let's take a look at another one. Cage is the prince of pretentious darkness. Pretentious is a good word there. And the saving grace of this otherwise slapdash variation on the Bram Stoker legend. I don't know about that. Yeah, it is like an updated version. Like, what happens if Dracula survived this long, right? Would he still be alive today? What would he be doing? So they address all of that stuff in the movie. But yeah, I had fun with it. I don't think I would rank it quite as high as an 8 out of 10 like the audience, but I wouldn't rank it as low as a 6 out of 10. Overall, guys, I had fun with Renfield. I totally recommend that you go out and check it out. And if it's just on TV, I'd check it out. I'd watch that. Watch it for Nicolas Cage. I would give Renfield a 7.5 out of 10. There you go. Yeah, 7.5 for Renfield. Let me know your thoughts if you went out and saw it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. All right, let's take some live comments from people who have some thoughts about Renfield here. I love Ben Schwartz. Can't wait to see him play a villain. Oh, yeah. He was the son of the mob boss, right? Ben Schwartz. Yeah. So if you go and he plays kind of like you'll like him as the villain, I think. He does what he needs to do. You don't like him, but that's the point, right? He was in Bad Batch. Ooh, Staged, Central Park, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That comes out this year. No, that's not it. Is it? Fairfax Space Force. He was in Space Force? Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Oh, wait, is he the voice of Sonic? No. He is the voice of Sonic. Huh. Okay. Well, I like Sonic. I like the first one. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah. He's kind of like you know how there's like the big mob boss, and then there's like the kind of like the son that hasn't done anything right kind of thing. He plays it like that. Um, yeah, and it's fine. He does a good job. Arglass says, so Renfield, no emotional beats, but plenty of beatdowns. Was there room for a sequel, or was it a one and done? Yeah, there's possibility for a sequel. I just don't. I don't know if this is going to be a one and done. I don't see why they don't need to have a Renfield expanded universe thing going on with this. This is just kind of like a one-off kind of take. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's Dracula, of course. He's one of the first villains that constantly comes back from the dead. Did you kill him? I don't know. And actually, they kind of address that in this movie. They do a lot with the lore. They do touch on a lot of that stuff. So it's, yeah. It's not like they just made it off the cuff and didn't do their homework on it. Cool stuff. Okay, so as I said, later on today, I will be watching The Pope's Exorcist, so I'll be able to do my review for that tomorrow on the Horror Weekly Roundup. In fact, let's talk about that. What else can you find here on the channel? Besides my reviews for things like Renfield and Air, we do full movie watch-alongs we do a Grumpy Man Reacts series. And I'm going to put up the poll for not next week, but we do it every 2 weeks. So next Grumpy Man Reacts will be Big Hero 6, Beauty and the Beast, and Moana. So I'll put up that poll maybe today. Yeah, I'll put the poll up for that today, and people can start voting on which Grumpy Man Reacts movie we'll be watching to next. This week we just watched episode 3, and I forgot to check this morning to see if it cleared its copyright claims, and if it didn't, I got to fix it again. Mandalorian episode 7 this week was fantastic. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. Survivor episode 7 is on Thursdays. That was really good too. And we watch horror movies like The Menu, talking about Nicholas Hoult. We do Horror Weekly Roundup show. So tomorrow, guys, we'll be back with the Horror Weekly Roundup show. And we do movie news Monday and Fridays, and sometimes during the week as well. A Weaver says, yes, Sonic, he does a lot of voiceover. Okay, cool. And if you want to follow me on all the other social media, guys, check it out right there. Renfield 2, Renfield Down Under. Actually, they talk about that, about him moving around all over the world and stuff. Sorry, that's sort of that's starting to get into spoiler stuff, but yeah, it's good. He goes to Australia. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this. Super Mario Bros. There's a Super Mario Bros. Headline in the Screen Rant page there that I wanted to take a look at, because the headline got me. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is Disney's biggest nightmare, because it's scoring huge at the box office. Super Mario Bros. Opened huge because it had a 5-day weekend. It was like 140 million. What was it? Opening weekend, because it was Easter, right? And based on those numbers, 166, sorry, after everything gets adjusted. But remember, that's 5 days, right? 166. So this weekend it's going to get down to like maybe 70. But it's got good word of mouth and everything. So I wanted to take a look at this article that says it's Disney's biggest nightmare, because Disney's Turning Red and stuff like that didn't fare well at the box office. Wasn't very well received. And why is it a nightmare then? Why is it? Because Disney, Super Mario doesn't fall under Disney. Is it because of it being its competition? And that's what it goes into here. Universal's massive success with Super Mario. Um, and the kind of like the what else came out from Disney? It was Strange Worlds last year, right? Lightyear underperformed. Actually, I found Lightyear very boring. It was boring, and that's not good. It was long too. Lightyear was way too long. It was like, oh, we're in the final act now. This is going to lead up to the big battle, and then it just goes on and it goes on and on and on. And it's like, oh my God, is okay. What's going on? Yeah, I didn't have a good experience with Lightyear. I didn't bother seeing Strange World, but Super Mario, Universal, and Illumination, far more fierce animation rival, and they got to jump on to Legend of Zelda. These properties have been sitting on the shelves for so long, and the studios just had no idea what to do with them. Do we do them in live action or we do them in cartoon? And it looks like you got to do them in cartoon animated forms. I would love to have seen a live action Zelda, but I think you just got to do it like Mario. Follow that success, fast track it, get Legend of Zelda out as early as next year if you can, because you'll cash in on this wave. This is going to be a big wave that's going to build up. And you're going to see a bunch of other studios jumping on properties, video game properties, and adapting them into the cartoon form, which they should be. We know that we're going to get a Mortal Kombat 2. We know we're going to get a live action Street Fighter. But these other ones, like from Nintendo and stuff, yeah, it's got to be live action. Disney's, they've been trying to push out their own content of like their own original content, which is fine. It's just you got to work from the ground up with those, right? With Super Mario Bros, it was a brand name even before it was a movie, so it had a huge fan base beforehand. So it's kind of like you got to capitalize on those fan bases. Listen to what the fans want, and don't give me that BS there, Mr. C, that says that no, it's the director and the writer, they get to come in and make whatever vision they want, and that's the story they should tell. No, fans, when you got a fan property, something that's got a fan base, you got to listen to what the fans are saying. It's kind of, as I said, I've said it many times, it's like going into McDonald's and asking for a Big Mac and saying, and letting the chef say, well, or the cooks, the people that put the burger together, saying, no, let them make the burger not to specifications, not what you're expecting, right? It's like that. You say, well, how does that compare? It's because I know what a Big Mac should taste like. I know what a Super Mario Bros. Should sort of loosely be about. I know this. Don't tell me that you're going to reimagine it for a new generation, like that kind of thing, that mentality, right? I don't buy that. It's like nails on a blackboard when I hear somebody say, but you got to let the director come in and make their own vision. It's like, well, they've done that before with other properties like Star Wars, where they did that with the sequel trilogy, and look how that worked out. No. Anyway, I'm ranting. It's just a curious little article that, yeah, Super Mario Bros. Got big box office numbers, and there's going to be a sequel. And if you haven't seen Super Mario Bros. This week, last week, go out and see it this week. It's a lot of fun. And there's stuff in there, a ton of Easter eggs that if you grew up with the original Nintendo, like the kids today won't know all, like Kid Icarus and stuff like that you see in there. Like Power Glove and like the bazooka and stuff like that. They wouldn't recognize all those things. So yeah, multi-generational. And Chris Pratt, he did a good job. So Illumination just keeps beating Disney animated movies at the box office. And did they also do Minions? So yeah, they've built up a nice repertoire of stuff. I don't know why they're using stuff for Inside Out. We just watched Inside Out. It's curious how that comes up, eh? Like this article, I had no idea that this was going to be in there. Can Disney's upcoming animated movies compete with the Super Mario Bros? Well, somebody said when we were watching our Inside Out watch along that there is going to be an Inside Out too. So, well, there you got brand recognition. It all depends on how it's marketed. Because like the trailers for Strange World, it was like, it fell into one of those problems where it's like, okay, I watched the trailer, but I still have no idea what the heck the movie's about, right? One of those boxes. Um, but yeah, just a curious little article that I thought we could take a look at. It's still going to be number one this weekend at the box office. I don't expect Renfield or The Pope's Exorcist to beat it. Um, let's take a look at some of these Lionsgate topics, because I found some of these problematic. Let's take a look here. How a group of Lionsgate executives built a diversity pipeline that's kickstarting careers. Okay, so the executives at Lionsgate seems to, well, by this headline, seems to suggest that they're starting careers. Okay, so things pretty good at Lionsgate, right? We go over to one article on the other side of things. And Lionsgate cuts staff in film division. What? So what is it? Are you cutting staff or are you kickstarting careers? And this is both from THR. They both have these headlines up. Lionsgate's cut staff in film division. The layoffs impact 3% of the unit and 12 employees out of 400. Now, we've seen that other companies have been doing layoffs and stuff. But like, you see the twist, the spin on the narratives there, how a group of Lionsgate executives build diversity pipeline. And I thought we should take a look at this, or at least highlight this and know what, or have some concept of what the heck is going on there. I'm guessing kickstarting the careers of actors and not people who actually work for the company, right? Been doing work to diversify its below the line crews via Production Inclusion Coalition Program. Production Inclusion Coalition Program. Oh, so it's what? Started by a group of physical and post-production staffers during the early months of the pandemic. Okay, so tangible action plans to widen and diversify industry pipelines for both entry-level and experienced talent from historically excluded backgrounds is okay. So you were going to hire on a whole bunch of people only to lay them off. Yeah, something about that doesn't sit right. Right? Maybe I'm just not looking at these headlines the proper way. But the pink slip hit the group shortly after March 24th, John Wick Chapter 4. Again, that's the people that are working on the movies. So I don't understand this. Something I believe the layoffs more than anything. I believe that yes, people got laid off, but this looks more like a puff piece to shield from that bad news. Oh yeah, we're laying off a whole bunch of people, but hey, you know what? We also really help people out in their careers starting off as well. So not all is bad with us. So yeah, it's kind of like, what the heck is going on here at Lionsgate? Take it with a grain of salt is what I would say. Production assistants. Oh yeah, so yeah, those people definitely get. They would be production assistants are like the lowest rung on the ladder. Some of them don't even get paid. They do internships, which I don't agree with. Internships should be banned. If you're working somewhere, you don't work somewhere for free. You work somewhere for pay, but you also learn. And I hate that whole concept that I don't think is allowed here in Canada. Actually, they don't allow that, which is good, but it shouldn't be allowed in the States either. And it happens in like the news industry as well. Oh, I'm going to work as an assistant for this person, and I'm not going to get paid for it, but I'm just going to do it and work like a slave for this person and get the notoriety and experience that. Like, I hate that concept. I really hate that. But yeah, something's foul there. Arglass says, yeah, I agree with the respect the IP. Not everything has to be given the Taika treatment. Yeah, of letting just a creator go with his own thoughts and stuff. A Weaver, the narrative is desperate to set Disney against Mario. Apparently, shouldn't be a zero-sum game. I guess maybe that headline is a little bit sensationalized, the Mario headline, but it's not without merit, and I think that's maybe why I wanted to pull that and talk about that. And there are other animation studios out there, like anything that Studio Ghibli does. I'm just like, wow. Like Disney's not the only the only player in this game. Super Mario's proving that, right? Okay, what's next? Margot Robbie, and then we'll move on to some hit or miss. Margot Robbie is going to be starring in the prequel to Ocean's 11, and apparently they can fix a long-time franchise problem. It's also going to have Ryan Gosling in it. So they worked together on Barbie, and now they're going to be in an Ocean's 11 heist movie. So what? Again, it's the headline. The headline caught me. Fix a long-time franchise problem. Well, what problem is that? As you scroll down, Ocean's 11 reboot should feature both male and female con artists. The Ocean's 11 with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, I guess it was predominantly male heist people, right? So they tried to counteract that with the Sandra Bullock with having all female. And the problem with that one, I found it was just boring. It was cool when they did the heist, but all the build-up and everything going on around it was just boring. It was dull. Like when I watched it, I was like, I wish I had a fast forward button where I would be like, this is not entertaining. Anyway, yeah, get away from that facet of, oh, if it's going to be a female leader, it's going to be off. No, to get away from, you hire the best man for the job. Actually, if they could get in like a chemistry that worked together, kind of like what Kaleidoscope did on Netflix, where you had like a bunch of people working together that, yeah, they don't like each other, but they come together to work on the job because they're just the best people for it, right? And I think they tried to do that, but going along with the motifs of having it all a single gender and stuff like that, we're beyond that now, right? We're beyond that. And Margot Robbie, I'll watch anything in. And we've seen the Barbie trailer now, and it looks like her and Ryan Gosling are going to have good chemistry in that. So hopefully that'll carry over to the new Ocean prequel, which I don't think they've started to shoot yet. Because I still think they're working on Barbie for some reason. But yeah, when I get more information on that, we'll go into that. What do you guys think about that? Ocean's 11 Riptide says, whoops, A Weaver. Yeah. Hey, I like a good heist movie. And they lend themselves to different kinds. They lend themselves to different types of genres. Like you can do more espionage ones. You could do like horror ones, like Army of the Dead and stuff like that. Yeah. And I got high hopes for that one. Hopefully that one works out. So let's go on to some hit or miss headlines. See what else is going on out there. 6 Marvel characters Mia Goth could play in MCU's Blade. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. It was announced that Mia Goth is going to be joining the new Blade movie. And I didn't speculate over to which character she could be playing. So let's take a look at this one. Oh, God, I could go for a crispy melt right now. Taco Bell, you know where to put your ads to get me get my mouth watering. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's take a look at some of these characters. Lilith Drake, the daughter of Dracula. Now, Dracula does show up in the Blade series. He showed up in the 3rd movie, right? Lilith Drake, possibly. Like, I do think that she's going to be playing the villain. I do think she's going to be playing, like, the main threat. Hopefully. Because she can pull that off. Lilith Drake, okay. Who else is? Lilith, the mother of demons. Wait a minute, we got 2 Liliths? Lilith, the monster of demons, and Lilith Drake. So what's the difference with monster of demons? Not to be confused, Lilith, commonly known as Mother of Dragons, supernatural character. Appeared in Ghost Rider. Okay. Origin and powers have fluctuated throughout her history. Fallen angel from heaven or the first woman on earth. So she was an angel. Fascinating. Okay. Satana Hellstrom. I don't know anything about this. I guess I don't know that much about Blade's comic book runs. The daughter of Satan. Well, that'd be cool. Yeah. Spitfire. I don't know who that is either. Ray Thomas. Okay. She was related to the origin of Baron Blood, a major villain in the comics, and becomes part of vampire after he bites her. So she's also part vampire. Well, I expect something like that. I do expect her to be, also part vampire. Rachel Van Helsing, vampire hunter. Great granddaughter of Van Helsing, maybe. And then the last one is Queen Scylla. I don't know who that is either. So you would have to be like a Blade buff to know who these possibilities are. This is supposed to be hit or miss. I guess that's sort of a hit. Mia Goth is worth talking about in my books. What's next? Why now is not a good time to make a Star Wars 10? Well, is it having anything to do with the reception of The Rise of Skywalker? I would have to say that it's about that. It's way too soon. Yeah. Yeah. I thought if she was going to come back, and this shot does her no justice, but if she was going to come back, I thought she would be like 20 years from now would be a good, appropriate time. But they're doing. Some people say that fans are tired. No, I know that the reception of Mandalorian Season 3 hasn't been the greatest. And I know the numbers weren't there for Andor. But you got to keep your thumb to the ground, because I've seen other articles where Favreau's come out and said him and Filoni had planned out this arc for this. So they got it all planned out. They know what they're doing with it. And Andor's going to be like a fine wine. It's going to age very, very well, I think. Star Wars 10 should happen, but not yet. Okay, yeah. So we get that. We get that point. Talking about Mandalorian, Brendol Hux. This was brought up in our reaction this week that Brendol Hux is he's going to be playing the father of General Hux from the sequel trilogy. And what's cool is that I guess these two are brothers in real life, right? And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about, one of the other images that showed up in the holograms there with Brendol Hux was he was the captain. What's it called again? Oh, I forgot what it's called. The last no. Anyway, the captain of Grand Admiral Thrawn's Star Destroyer was the older man in the hologram sequence there in this week's episode of Mandalorian. So it did have a lot of Easter eggs in there. And yeah, get away from the Palpatine stuff. Everybody's been forecasting that they've been trying to drive towards Snoke, and we've seen the Praetorian Guards, we've seen the Red Guards. No. Once you get Thrawn in there, you don't have to acknowledge Snoke or Palpatine at all. Just get away from it. Yeah. I wish they would adopt what they did with the sequel trilogy as they did with the prequels. When Kathleen Kennedy came in and said, these movies can't remind people of the prequels, so we're going to just totally ignore everything. Okay, fine. Use that mentality with doing the Thrawn storyline. Don't use anything from the sequel trilogy. You don't have to. Fans will be able to follow it along. Casual people, they don't care. They don't care. One House of the Dragon actor is missing from season 2 cast list. Oh, yeah, we just saw that House of the Dragon season 2 is kicked off production for hopefully next summer release. So somebody's going to be missing. Who's it going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? They still got time to put it in. Sir Harold Westerling. This guy, he was like the general that, leader of the army, right? That was kind of like, are you sure you want to go down this route? Are you sure you want to do this kind of thing? Right? He had his doubts, right? He questioned her, Alicent, right? At the Green Council. So he wasn't in the roll call. I still think they got time to show up for that. Um, yeah, because this guy, he became, he stepped into the foreground, right? He became quite the villain. Yeah, Sir, what the heck was his name? Sorry, it's been a hot minute. Um, Carden? What was that? Sir? Anyway, he became a bad guy. Yeah. Um, some live comments here. Heist movies need to be gripping and suspense filled. I feel if they become goofy soap opera or too slapstick, they may lose the audience. Yeah, that too. A lot of the Oceans movie became a little too slapstick towards the end, right? The cloning subplot is almost wallpaper in the Mandalorian episode. I wonder if they're going to put that to bed. I hope so. Like people have had that mentality of like they got to somehow justify and smooth out the line of somehow Palpatine has returned. One of the worst lines in all of Star Wars or even cinematic history. The worst writing. Like I would like J.J. Abrams wrote that, and still people want to go to bat to say that J.J. Abrams is a good creator. And he's a charlatan, guys. Oh God. But yeah, I feel like people feel like they should be using the Mandalorian to smooth that over, to make things make sense. And no, they don't have to. Just stay away from it. Do what you're doing. Yeah. Right here in the live chat says, hey, yeah, how's it going? We're just going through some hit or miss headlines here. We're almost through them. One last one. All right, I think it's the last one, right? I really get it. Galadriel actress addresses Rings of Power criticism. Morveth Clark. Actually, I really liked her. She was the highlight for me for Rings of Power, which we did our full live watch-alongs here. Every time she was on the screen, I loved what she was doing. And people, this is the thing too, where because this is an established franchise too, so maybe somebody can make me eat my words here, but they were trying to do other things with her, like. But people's main argument was like, that's not Galadriel that I know. Why is she acting and behaving like that? Because she's got to grow into that, guys. I recognize that when we saw that. But it looks like she too is starting to see the criticisms and she gets it. They just started filming season 2 of this. And I think they are going to do some course correction for this. So she says, because I'm a fan of this type of genre, I've read books that have been turned into things, and I've been like, I don't think the house would have looked like that, so I really get it. What's so wonderful about these worlds and these characters is that they don't exist, yet they do so intensely in so many minds. Well, yeah. I never got on them for casting people of different ethnicities. And some of the hardcore base did, because they said the original books were based on, it was supposed to be an allegory for the United Kingdom and stuff like that. So everybody here looks the same color. It's like, guys, that's borderline bigotry. And they're like, no, I'm just a hardcore fan. I'm not calling it up. Well, yes, you are. In fact, you're making whole video libraries about it. And you dare try not to tell me that you don't have a slight ounce of bigotry in your name or in your arguments. And this guy who played this character, he did a great job. This guy, he was one of my favorite characters. So I'm really looking forward to more Rings of Power. And it sounds like the people involved are hearing the criticisms. So, yeah, they got time to course correct. And it's a series, right? Sometimes the first season is always rough. Not every series. Like House of the Dragon was really awesome. Andor was awesome. It happens. Mandalorian season 1 was awesome. Yeah, but hey, sometimes it takes a little bit for you to find your way. Star Trek Next Generation, I say all the time. First season is really, really rough, man. But it found its way. Oh, I guess I do got some more headlines here. What is the Big Bang Theory new spinoff? Yeah, out of that HBO Max consolidation, HBO said that they're going to make a Big Bang spinoff. Now, I was a Big Bang Theory fan, and I came on late to it. I think I came in on season 5 or something. I participated on like those after shows in the live chats. I was constantly on those. Because I like the characters. I just had fun. It was a good escapism. Now, I don't know what spin-offs could happen, which I would like want to watch, because mostly all the story arcs got wrapped up nicely in a bow. I don't know if you guys are fans of the show or not. Let's take a look at some of the ideas that they have here in this article. The Coopers. So Sheldon's brother and sister, a spin-off about them. I don't watch Young Sheldon, so I don't know how they're being built up. But having the older actors, because it was Jerry McConnell plays the older brother, and then some other girl plays the sister, Missy. But in the series Big Bang, Missy had a baby because the actress in real life had a baby, right? Yeah, that could be an idea. Jerry O'Connell, possible, maybe. Paige Swanson. No. A fellow child prodigy. Nah. Young Howard? No. Yeah, Howard worked in doses. Howard worked when he was part of the ensemble. Having him solo, I don't think that would work. You know what maybe could work is a solo Leonard and Penny story of them trying to build their lives, but it would be more of a serious tone, I would think. Yeah, like buying a house. Stuart Bloom, the comic book store owner, no. He was a weird character, really weird. No. Rajesh, yeah, maybe him, because actually I said that all the stories got wrapped up in the series, but yeah, Raj, he never, he was building towards finding a life partner, and it never he never found anyone. So there is more that you could do with Raj, like finding a wife or some other life partner. I always thought that, you know what would be kind of fun if they went the Star Trek route and they made a Big Bang movie. But Big Bang Theory relied a lot on the audience laughter in the background, because they would deliver a joke and the cast would pause so people could laugh. In a movie format, you don't have that, right? And have the movie about maybe Raj finding a wife and they all try to congratulate them. Leonard and Penny move into a house, that kind of thing. We find out that, yeah, Sheldon's a secret millionaire. Why is he like, yeah, like that kind of thing, right? There's still some storylines and stuff that could happen, and I'd be curious to see what's going to happen with this spin-off that's going to happen with Max or HBO Max. A Weaver says, "No way to on the Coopers. They aren't nerds. We need our nerds." Yeah, they're not. His brother sells tires, right? And the sister, I don't know what the sister does. But yeah, there's something with Leonard. You could do something with Leonard and his family, because they're all doctors, right? In his family, and they all jockey for like affection from the parents. So there's some things there that could possibly happen. Arglass says retcon the sequel trilogy and let Filoni and Favreau do their work in whichever timeline they want. Yeah, I don't even think you need to retcon it. Just don't acknowledge it. Work around it. That's what I say. Work around it. It just exists. The one bright side about the sequel trilogy, let me see if I can pull up Star Wars sequel trilogy. Let's see if I can make this point. And I'll see if I can use YouTube's editor to pull this out as a short. The one bright side to the Star Wars sequel trilogy is that nothing really significant happened in it pertaining to the main universe of the storylines. So, yes, things like The Mandalorian, the Thrawn story that's going to come out, they can dance around the events of the sequel trilogy as if it never happened because it didn't really have that big of a major impact. Maybe some of the Republic systems got blown up, but other than that, what seriously other big things happened? Palpatine came back, but he's dead. So he came back for 5 minutes. Like, seriously, what did happen in the sequel trilogy that progressed it? Not much. Nothing. Because the pitch for the Rey spinoff is that she's going to go build a new Jedi temple and everything like that, which should have been Star Wars Episode 7. Luke building a new Jedi regime. So they're starting back where Episode 7 should have started. You see what I mean, people? Yeah. I'll see if I can cut that out and make it a short. YouTube's editing system needs to get a whole lot better. They do. Okay. Are we done? Whoa, like, oh my God, we're running overtime today. We are. Oh, well. Okay, so where are we at? Cocaine Bear documentary promises to tell you the real story. Yeah, guys, if you thought that when all the events that happened in the Cocaine Bear story that came out this year, which was a fun movie, it was. If you thought that was the real thing that happened, no, there's a documentary that's coming out trying to cash in on this success while people are talking about it, because it's now out on streaming services, right? The real story is that I think the pilot actually fell on somebody's driveway. He fell down, like they just, somebody went outside to pick up the morning paper or something, and there was like a dead body there, and that was the pilot who jumped out, and the parachute didn't open, but the cocaine did land in the forest. The bear did get it, but it didn't go on a murderous rampage or anything like that. It died from overdose. The heart just couldn't take it. That's what the real story, and that's what I would expect to see in this documentary that's coming out on Peacock. Yeah. Lifer says sequel trilogy had one money shot, Luke, Leia, and Han together one more time, and they dropped the ball. Yeah, that too. They can still work around that and give us that. They still can, but they would have to de-age them, and they would have to use a CG Leia. The sequel trilogy was a culling exercise of the original OGs to allow Disney to forward the franchise with their own DNA, but with like the DNA that nobody wants to watch. Which goes back to that article, are we ready for the Rey spinoff? Are we? Really? It seems likely Shazam 2 was allowed to fail at the box office. What do you mean you allowed? It was supposed to come out at Christmas, and I think it would have done a little bit better at Christmas. Yes, Avatar was out at the same time, but it was so vastly different that I think it would have had more time to breathe, because nothing else really came out at the Christmas time, which contributed to Avatar having such big success, was that there's nothing else to compete against it. It was like, where are we going to go see? Well, Avatar. There's really nothing else coming out. Yes, there were other movies that came out, but it was like smaller indie films, or like smaller films that just don't resonate with a huge audience, like Renfield, those types of titles. Allowed to fail? I don't know about that. I don't think any studio wants their movies to fail, so I kind of dismiss this one, and I'm not going to give that one credence. Finally, Super Troopers 3 will be the Broken Lizard's next movie. Were you a fan? I never saw the second one. I saw the first one in the theater. It was fun, but you really needed to have some other influence on you to watch it to fully appreciate it, right? I never saw the second one because that was crowd-funded, right? But those guys, if you were a fan of Broken Lizard, Super Troopers 3 is on the way. A. Weaver says, yes, Bifer, unthinkable that they reunite Luke, Leia, and Han. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that should have been Kathleen Kennedy's, like, if she's, once she saw the script from J.J. Abrams or Michael Arndt, it's like, well, we're not doing that. Reconfigure the story so that they're all together. And it's like, I don't understand that. And I really don't understand it. It's too inside Star Wars. It's like, jeez. Yeah. Pfeiffer also says in the live chat, Shazam 2 is still better than any Marvel movies from last year and this year. Just trying to think of all the other Marvel movies. Possibly, yeah. Shazam 2 lost its edge by not having Billy and Freddy together working out the issues with the gods. The chemistry was just there. It just wasn't in the sequel, yeah. I had fun with Shazam 2. All right. Well, we're running over time today. That's okay. Whatever. I don't have that much more on the schedule today. I have to go out and do some stuff this afternoon, and then I'm seeing, and then I will be seeing Pope's Exorcist. So let's go over to the Twitterverse and see what's happening. Olivia Wilde will direct a TBD adaptation of A Visit from the Goon Squad and its sequel, The Candy House, for A24. Okay, so she's working with A24, who did her last movie, right? I do like Olivia Wilde. That swirling over the last movie with Florence Pugh, though, and Harry Styles. You know, maybe she doesn't need to cast Harry Styles in it. Exclusive new clip from Dead Ringers. Series debuts April 21st. Barbie and Oppenheimer are both slated to open July 21st. Yeah, there's no plan. Those are two widely different audiences. Oppenheimer is going to be like a 3-hour movie. Barbie's just going to be a quick, fun little movie that people will be laughing at with their kids and stuff like that. Totally different audiences. That's fine that they opened the same day. First 3 seasons of Marvel's Ravel are now on Prime. Okay, Oppenheimer stuff. Nicholas Hoult says he would like to go do a rom-com, though maybe not as a romantic lead. It sounds like there's slightly less to explore with those characters. But maybe just don't think of me like that. Maybe I don't get sent the good ones. Huh. He wants to be in a rom-com. Huh. Watch Suzume, Pfeiffer says. Yeah, that's opening up this week. I can watch Suzume, maybe. Nothing else like a good exorcism to end the week. Yeah. I have to work on taxes now. Kill me. Bummer. Yeah, it is getting the end of the month, right? Is when they're all due. I did mine already. Olivia Wilde, last movie, panned critically, and she lost control in her movie, lacked direction. I liked a lot of the aspects. What the heck was her last movie? And why am I drawing a blank on the name? Don't Worry, Darling. Yeah. I like the production design of it. I like the tone of it, but it was like an Outer Limits episode where you got like this really bizarre twist to it that's like, ooh, I didn't realize we were going that crazy. And that was jarring for some people. Nicholas Hoult, yeah, he's going to be talking the talk of the town this week. Kate Blanchett in the religious drama The New Boy, described as a story of spiritual struggle and the cost of survival. So she's going to be playing a nun? Huh. New projects Amazon is reportedly currently developing at MGM. Legally Blonde, Poltergeist, Star, RoboCop, Stargate, Pink Panther, Thomas Crown Affair, Barbershop, Magnificent Seven. Yeah, whatever happened to that Neil Blomkamp RoboCop that was supposed to retcon the sequels? I want to see more. I want to see more RoboCop. I don't care about Poltergeist. That reboot sucked. Legally Blonde is a possibility. Yeah, Reese Witherspoon. who recently became single again. Yeah, I want to see more of her. It's weird how we watched a bunch of Reese Witherspoon's movies this year. RoboCop is a TV show. Movie and TV show are on the works. Yeah, and then somebody pitched like a weird story about one of the executives that worked at the company at OCP. Like, why would you make a movie about that? That's so weird. But anyway, Barbershop, Fame, Legally Blonde. Zach Braff's A Good Person is now available on VOD. That was just in theaters. I missed it because it only played for like a week. That's Glen Powell? Wow, he looks really different with a beard on there, huh? Daisy Edgar Jones. Twister. That's the talk of the town. Which is your favorite Robert Eggers film? The Witch, The Lighthouse, or The Northman? I like The Northman, but I would have to say The Witch is it for me. The Witch. Yeah. What is your favorite Jordan Peele film? Get Out, Us, or Nope? Oh, Get Out is so strong. Get Out is so strong. I liked what they were doing with Nope as well. But if I had to tell you to watch one of them, guys, to get a sense as to what Jordan Peele is capable of, I would tell you watch Get Out. If I were you to use the same metric as Robert Eggers, which one would you pick to show you what he's capable of? Yeah, I would still give you The Witch. Northman is good, though. 23 years ago, American Psycho was released. Wow. Quiet Place Day 1 has wrapped with Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. God, Lupita Nyong'o. I can't wait to see this. Quiet Place Day 1 has wrapped. Cool, man. Sydney Odugang. Yeah, we talked about that. An American remake of Squid Game is reportedly in the... No. You don't have to. Like, they got production for a remake, an Americanized version of Train to Busan. What was going to be called Last Train to New York. And they got cast and everything, and then it just quietly disappeared. It was on the release schedule and everything. And then it just fizzled out because they realized that why? So many people resonate to Train to Busan. They don't care that it's got subtitles. Squid Game was so awesome. I don't know if you can replicate that with Americanizing it. Americanizing is like the old antiquated thing. I don't know if it'll have the same impact. It's because the North American culture would react differently to it. They would react differently to the setup and the scenarios. It worked because of the cultural thing, I think. Most profitable low-budget movies of 2022, Megan, except Megan was 2023. It came out in January, guys, 2023. It's not a 2022 movie. Where the Crawdads Sing, 74.7 million. Black Phone, 87.6. Scream, Everything Everywhere All at Once, 32 million. What? Oh, is that how much they cost to make? Profit, or they're saying profit there. No, they made more than that. Okay, I don't get that out of here. What's this? Anna de Armas is hosting SNL this week. She's been. With musical guest Karol G. Yeah, I can't wait to see her in the Ballerina spinoff. Bupkis, what the heck is this? Chase Sweet Wonders, alongside Pete Davidson. Tarantino was psychologically damaged because of the failure of Death Proof. Yeah, I saw those headlines. Well, he doesn't have to lose anything. I mean, come on. Remake Stargate. No Stargate, you'll ruin it, Bifer says. Get Out was a good movie. Yeah, it was. Hourglass, I'm so guessing the cast for A Quiet Place series will not having a rap party. I don't know about that. No original ideas, typical business mentality. Oh, sink and swim on SNL. Yeah. Yeah, with all those remakes, all those adaptations and stuff like that. There's no original stuff in there. There is original stuff that does come out like on channels and stuff like Netflix stuff, but it gets very little publicity. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, guys. Melissa Barrera is going to star in Radio Silence's monster thriller at Universal. She's worked with them before in Scream 5 and Scream 6. So Melissa Barrera, good actress, working in an untitled monster movie with the same directors. Cool, man. All right, guys, I've run 20 minutes over time today. I'm sorry about that. There will be some shorts that I'll cut out from this stuff and put it up later. I'll cut out my Renfield review. That'll be up on the channel later. And stay tuned for my straight out of the theater reaction for The Pope's Exorcist. Yeah. Other than that, enjoy your weekend, guys. It's going to be nice and warm, and then Sunday it's going to cool down here. But it is a nice sunny day outside today. It really is. Maybe I'll try to. I'll adjust the. Is that adjusting anything? No, that's not adjusting anything. You know what I can adjust? I can adjust the aperture setting. No. Okay. Maybe you guys can't quite. Is that on aperture yet? No, it's not. I'm determined to make this happen. Okay, now the screen's getting the way. But it is blue skies. Really nice outside. So why is that not? It wants to. You know you want to. There we go. It's really washed out though. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Enjoy your weekend. You're watching Mirror Domains. Please don't fall over, camera.